Now to today's guest. You'll recognise her from when you're a bit bleary-eyed in the morning, but Charlotte Hawkins is always looking bright and fresh for your first bulletin of the day, whatever the news brings.
Good morning, Britain. Arctic blast will hit many parts of the country today. Urge thousands of NHS
Don't adjust your sets. It is quite a bright dress.
There you are.
Is it?
Joy in woman form.
Well, I've come like as a piece of pollen this morning. We have actually a far superior interviewer. It's actually my daughter, Ella Rose.
At the moment, that's my favourite.
Right. Oh, this is what it's going to be like.
Go.
This is really bad.
You sink them down a little bit.
Just in a stomach circle. I'm not...
Right, we've got her putting in a late shift just for us. It is Charlotte Hawkins.
Can I just say, how many embarrassing clips can you dig up? I have never seen so many all in one go. It is amazing to be here. I'm very excited. First time on Loose Women.
It's about time then, isn't it?
It is about time. It's nice to do it in the afternoon. I know.
Yeah.
Rather than having to get up early.
Well,
So thank you for having me.
Exactly, and it is our pleasure to have you. And what's been a joy is seeing you first thing in the morning. It's lovely to see your gorgeous face.
Oh,
but what's it been like? Because we obviously have a rolling group of women, so we never work with the same people every single day. You know, it varies. And you've got a similar setup when it comes to female co-hosts on GMB. So what's that been like?
Yeah, well, it's great. It was described as sort of the Good Morning Britain supergroup. So we have this sort of, you know, a selection of men that we have coming to join us. Now, I really love it, actually, because you get so many different opinions, views, you know, people come at it from lots of different angles. And because we deal with so many subjects on a day-to-day basis, I think it's great to have those different outlooks.
Yeah.
Everybody brings something different, and people watching at home, it means that no two shows are the same. You're always going to tune in and see something different, something engaging, hopefully something
Have
that
you got a
catches
favourite?
attention. I can't answer that.
No,
Can you imagine?
but she will have.
It's like asking a parent, have you got a favourite child?
I love doing that to parents. I love throwing them off. Which one's your favourite? They go, so we used to seeing you looking so perfect, always. So have you got a wild side?
Have I got a wild side?
A wild side, when you let it
We just let it all go. Well, when I get back home, so if you see me now with the hair and makeup and everything's done, and luckily we have a great team that sort everything out in the morning. But it's tracksuit on when I get back. I do not look like this when I'm, you know, usually doing the school run and all the rest of it.
Yeah, but you don't look like a slob, do you?
No.
Oh, no. I mean, I do quite a good impression of a slob.
No.
No, I was
You've got a
thinking...
nice tracksuit even, haven't you?
I do have a nice tracksuit, but I do, because I like getting out in the garden and getting my hands dirty and stuff like that. And sometimes I think if people could see me now lugging patio stones around or digging some sort of, you know...
I need to see it to
not
believe it. But I was thinking
believe
more
it.
behaviour.
Behaviour-wise,
Are you wild?
I have got a very fun group of friends.
Are they school
friends?
friends?
I've got a great fun group of school friends, but my university friends who mean the absolute world to me, and we're all very close, and we do loads of things together, you know, whether it's going on skiing trips and weekends away and all sorts of things. Luckily, what goes on behind closed doors stays that way, like, usually involving cocktails or, I don't know, shots or whatever else. It's a fun night out.
Speaking of the tracksuit that you say you wear, you've been doing a bit of running in your tracksuit, maybe. Do you want to tell us a little bit what you've been preparing for?
Yeah, so it's Run the Month Marathon Edition. It's running a marathon over the course of the month, and it's for Prostate Cancer UK. And I was asked by the charity to do it in memory of the lovely Bill Turnbull, who we sadly lost last year, who I worked with on Classic FM. He was a dear friend and a colleague as well, and he joined us on Good Morning Britain too. And I am not a runner at all. You know, I hate running usually, but I thought this is 26.2 miles over the course of the month.
So how many...
You're on schedule then, yeah?
Yeah.
So I've done 14 miles. So I've got 12.2 miles to go.
Yeah.
So as long as I keep it up, I think I'll be all right. The only trouble is, like, if you have a couple of days and you think, oh, I need to get out, and if you're really busy and you haven't managed it, or at the beginning of the month, I didn't feel great, so I was like, oh, I don't feel well enough to be able to do it. So if you miss too many,
you can make
I have this slight fear, though, that I'm going to be left right at the end of January with 10 miles to do, and that will put the fear of God into me. But it's for a great cause.
Is it for you to keep Bill's memory alive and for people to remember just what an incredible man he was, whilst also remembering what it was that took him from the world.
Yeah, I mean, he was such a special person. He was lovely to work alongside. You know, he was a brilliant broadcaster. He was a generous presenter to work with. He knew his stuff inside out, but just such a gentleman, but he had such a funny, caring side at the same time. You know, he was a mischievous, and when I did Pet Classics, which is a show where we play calming music for pets when the fireworks are going off, and it's Bill's show. It's always been Bill's show, and he wasn't well enough to do it one year, so they asked me to cover, and I sent him an email saying, look, I'm just borrowing your show from you, you know, have it back when you're well enough, and... oh, I'm going to get upset now. But anyway, so obviously, you know, we lost him and he wasn't able to come back. And it's just so sad. And, you know, I know he would want me to continue to spread this important message for men to get themselves checked, to go to the doctors. You know, it's the most common cancer in men, but if it's caught early enough, then it's not a death sentence. So it's just really important to spread that message. So I just thought, come on, hate running, but I'm thinking of him every step of the way, and that's what's powering me on to be able to do this.
He'd be so proud of you. He'd be so proud of you. I think stepping out of your comfort zone is such a gift to somebody to know that you stepped out of your comfort zone to try something in his memory. I think that's
Have you ever felt like being a giver-upper? During the course of this.
I tell you what, when it was tipping with rain and I knew I had to go out for a run and I just looked out and I thought, I really, really don't want to do this. But I wanted to give up. I really desperately wanted to give up. But it was like hood up and I was up and down my road. Because I don't like going for a big run. I'd rather do laps. I think my neighbours think I'm crazy. She's going past my house again. What's she doing?
In case you just want to go in.
I know, yeah. Like, can I come in for a cup of tea? Tempting as it was. But I think sometimes you've just got to think, you know, look towards that end and think it's going to be worth it when I get there. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, the harder something is, the better you feel at the end of it for having done it. Now,
I felt a bit like that with Strictly.
Yeah, no, I do feel a bit like that with Strictly as well.
You know, that's like, I've just got to push through.
The end.
Yeah, just get to the end.
Did you?
But I think, well, yeah, for me, that was massively outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah,
you know, it was sort of that whole performance element. It's one thing working in live TV.
But it's completely different being on a dance floor, but you did phenomenally well. And
well, thank you. Well, I did my best.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Charlotte Hawkins.